with my other two great co-hosts. Yes, Rebecca. Are you there, Rebecca Boy?
I am
Yeah.
here. So excited to be here.
And Chris Cloud. Hey, Chris. Wow, man. How you doing?
It's a long time making. Glad to be here.
Thank you all for watching and supporting.
I am just a big patriot and lover of freedom. And
I'm coming to you guys from what I call the front line of the heartland.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the On Fire Show. We've been away for about 3 weeks, but we're back. I am here. I'm the host, Daryl McKell Brooks, with the other co-hosts. Yeah, wow, man himself, Chris Cloud. Debbie, hey, uh, Debbie, how's Debbie?
She's good. She's good. Yeah, she's been busy.
All right, all right, all right. Rebecca could not make it. She's on her way to New York, but she makes it safe. We're praying for her. So we have our man, other special guest. He's been on the show at least like, I guess what, once or twice? Ron Wilcox. And so, how was your week, Chris?
I
Yeah,
survived.
I'm in your state, so I feel that way.
I know. I'm spread thin. You know, I'm up to here.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. And you got the bonfire coming up Saturday.
Saturday. Yep. Day after
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, we'll be there. I have two of the guys I'm working on the campaign with. And listen, they're excited, and I told them about the bonfire. They were excited. They said, "Wow, we got to be there. We're in Alexandria right now, and I can't think of the name of the town, but we're here in Alexandria. We're enjoying ourselves, and I've been in Virginia for about 3 weeks now. 8 different
Down near
Airbnbs.
Richmond.
What?
Down near Richmond and stuff, eh?
Yeah, I've been in. Listen, Richmond, Portsmouth, all of the somewhat major cities in Virginia. We're working for, Senate candidates and candidates that are running for Congress. And listen, I got to tell you, Chris, I thought Virginia's for lovers. But man, these people, listen, you got to get Ron on too. So Ron, you can come on in, Ron. Bring Ron Wilcox on, the great one. Yeah, there you go,
Hello.
the great one, Ron Wilcox.
Hey, I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear us?
I have no audio.
Oh, you have no audio. Well, Lana is going to try to fix that.
I can hear him. He might have to check his audio.
You may have to check your audio. We'll bring him back.
All right.
So, Ron, check your audio, check your phone, Chris. I think Ron has to check his phone.
I have no audio.
Okay, we can hear you. Hello? You got it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, we're excited. So, Chris, I've been traveling all around Virginia, and you know, and I, and I've been telling you the frustration I've been having here, especially Alexandria and Arlington, and have the anger that people have towards Republicans and the individuals that.
Yeah, no audio.
No audio. You can't hear yet.
Can you hear me?
Headphones.
Yes.
You may need
I
headphones.
cannot hear you.
We got to get an earpiece.
No audio.
All right.
No audio.
All right. Where's your ear? You got an earpiece? Okay. We'll be back with Ron Wilcox.
Call him. Call Ron.
Call Ron. And so, and Chris,
Yep.
you know, it's been crazy about the anger, the hatred I've gotten from the left, working for different candidates. You know, it's America strong, America first. You know, I've been called a Nazi. I've been called all types of things, and you know, a racist, a Nazi. I hate America. I support Hitler because we had a candidate had American first on their cards. It was so sad. The anger I got from the left, the Democratic Party. There's one guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he's running for Congress, Chris. And he said, and you know, I was telling everybody he's a Republican, but he's ex-military, and he is a special force. And I was saying, well, would you sign a petition for this guy? And they said no because he's a Republican. But I said he's special force. He served this country. He's still a Republican. He's evil. I mean, it's sad. I mean, what's going on with the Democratic Party and the people that are believing in the Democratic Party, Chris?
They exercise something called projection, where they take the evil and the hatred and all of the vile activities that they perform, and they project them onto somebody else. It's a defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done that for a long time. And what worries me isn't that they do that, because they've done that since they were children. What worries me is the trajectory of their projection. When you look back at the things that they used to point at and say, look at you do it, they're doing this, when they're actually doing it themselves. What's concerning is the nature of what they're projecting. Because if you look at the history, everything that they accused everybody else of were things they were doing. And now the things they're accusing others of doing, it's really, really scary to think that that those are actually what they're doing as well. And there's no reason to think it's not. I think that I think that most people behave the way that they get away with behaving, the way they're allowed to behave. You know, people, we hear these stories of people just going up behind somebody in public and beating them, hitting them across the back of the head, knocking them out. Or these social media influencers that behave in outrageous ways because they've got security with them. And they behave that way because nobody's turned around and paid them consequences. And these people that do these things, that project these vile accusations on others, we know that that's what they're doing. Nobody's held them accountable to that yet, as they should be. Nobody's held them as accountable as they need to be held.
Yeah.
And until they are, it's just going to get worse. And as long as we suffer these fools, we'll be surrounded by fools.
Oh, I think Ron is back on. Hey, Ron, are you there?
I'm doing a lot better now that I can hear you.
Okay. So, Ron.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard what we've been talking about? What's going on with your state and the people in Arlington? And, you know, listen, it's Arlington, Alexandria. What's going on with the left, the Democratic Party? You know, the anger, the visceral hate for the Republican Party. I'm working with two candidates who were military. One was a Navy, one was Army, Marines. But they're Republicans, so they're evil. They're evil people.
Well, the fact that they're military is worse from their point of view.
How?
Well, it's not just that they're Republicans, but they're military Republicans. That's I mean, you can get a little lower than that by being Donald Trump in their view, but it's pretty, I don't know who they hold in less regard than the military. And every other conservative. So I actually want to talk a little bit about that. Did you watch any of the trial today?
No.
Okay, this is the one about the Georgia fraud. Did you watch any of it, Chris?
I have been watching online, but not today.
I've been watching my bookshelf. I've completely flushed the toilet on outside media. So you're gonna get my opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, and they usually stink. My opinions right now aren't backed up by any knowledge or any information or any facts. They're just coming from me because fuck media.
Let's have a few facts today. So what they're trying to say is that Trump, by investigating what he thought was fraud in the Georgia election, that he thought that there were missing votes or whatever shenanigans, that he was somehow breaking the law. And his lawyers, I think, leave a little to be desired. Let's just say that. Because all day they were saying, well, this is protected speech, and if it wasn't true, it was political speech, and it's right in the First Amendment. I'm like,
missing the point.
Missing the point. Donald Trump was not exercising his First Amendment rights. He was exercising his prerogative as the president of the United States, and according to the oath that he took, he was ensuring that the laws of the United States were faithfully executed. That is a primary responsibility of the president. It's in the oath. And the other thing that he was doing as the executive of the United States was following the Constitution, where the Constitution says that the federal government shall guarantee to every state a Republican form of government. So he was not in what they say and have said in the periphery of his allowable activities. He was dead central, and I have confirmed this with at least one election lawyer, that he was dead center in his presidential powers to see that the laws are faithfully executed, to make sure that there was a Republican form of government where
his duty-bound obligation.
It's his obligation, and so I think his lawyers gave a weak. It may be effective, but I think it's the weakest way of saying that he did no wrong. Is to say he did no wrong instead of saying, well, it wasn't illegal. It wasn't what he did wasn't illegal. Yeah, that's great. Have your lawyer get up on the stand and say what my client did wasn't illegal. Okay, well, why not say that it was lawful? What my client did is lawful, and according to the laws of the United States, and according to the Constitution, and according to the oath of the President of the United States. So that's how I feel about that today. And I mean, you'd be apoplectic too if you had to watch this stuff, because I will tell you, Donald Trump did no wrong. He was investigating, ensuring that the laws of the United States were faithfully executed in Georgia.
But we have our media, CNN, MSNBC, and other news sources are pushing at he is,
no excuse for the lawyers.
Yeah, I definitely understand that, and
supposed to be people that are fighting for their client.
Yeah. So
and to say, well, what my client did wasn't illegal. No. What my client did was entirely lawful and in the scope of his authority as the president of the United States.
He has the presidential powers to look into it, question it. Am I right?
The United States,
the
executive branch, is vested in the person of the president of the United States. Now, with Joe Biden, that's terrifying. But in the case of Donald Trump, he was exercised. He may not have done it exactly the way that you may have wanted to do it, but he was acting as president, not while president. He was acting in his capacity as president of the United States, commander-in-chief, and the embodied and invested with the executive power of the United States.
And the president believed that something was wrong. He believed it. He believed that they were trying to steal the election. He believed that something and the information was given to him that he believed that something was seriously wrong with the election. And I tell the story, Chris and Ron. I was in Philadelphia, when I was in Philadelphia at the Four Season construction site, and me, Giuliani, and Corey Lewandowski is in a room together having a discussion, and then they went back into the other room and they had the speaker on, and I tell a story. It was President Trump on the phone, and President Trump said to Corey Lewandowski and Giuliani, they are trying to steal the election. Do not allow them to steal the election.
Correct.
And you must be strong. You must have, he was straight. He was as I said, president, he was the boss, the one in charge. And he actually believed that they were stealing the election. Yeah. And he was telling Giuliani and Corey Lewandowski, you get
What
out
do
there.
you think they're going to stop at now?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think they're going to stop at?
Nothing. There are no limits that I can
There
tell
are
the select
limits.
have. Whenever you think they've done the worst thing in the world, brace yourself. Grab your wallet. They're going to find something worse to do.
We have seen nothing yet. We have seen nothing yet.
And the left, the Democratic Party voters and the left thinkers, the far left, they have no problem saying to lock up Trump, lock up anybody who believes in Trump, lock up all the Republicans. All the Republicans are evil. You know what I mean? Yeah, cut their throat, knock us all off. They want us off the air.
And I want to clarify what his gesture means. Is Chris is indicating what they are doing to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen,
clarify that.
Yeah, listen, I was, and I was at a grocery store. This was last week, and I think it was not a giant Safeway grocery store.
Did you have to get a loan to buy your groceries?
No, no, I was petitioning, and it was a Safeway.
Okay, sorry.
So it was in Alexandria, and it was a Safeway.
I guarantee you, 95% of the people walk into that store, and even 99%, I guarantee we're getting a loan to get their groceries.
Yeah,
Marna. You can pay by Marna. You can put your freaking food on what do they call it? Payments.
Apple Pay payments.
You can lay away your fucking dinner.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon. You can
lay away my dinner a different way than that, but since Biden's come along,
put it Shopify.
You
go shopping at the grocery store online. You put it in your little cart. You have it delivered, and you go to pay with, and you select Marna. Marna's the new. Let's put your purchase on a payment plan. On deferred payments.
I'm afraid
insane.
that my Easter dinner, which the reason I was late and discombobbled is I was buying Easter dinner, and not only did I have to clip a coupon, but I had to take a loan out for that.
But did you have the discount, the discount card, they give you? Yeah.
We can elect a scoundrel.
Uh-huh.
We can elect somebody under indictment. We can elect somebody that's at trial. We can elect somebody that's been convicted. We can elect someone that's been sentenced to prison. We can elect somebody that's been incarcerated. There's only one person we cannot elect, and that is a corpse. And don't think they don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
If they put Trump in prison, we'll fucking crown him king.
Yeah.
We won't even bother an election. We'll just deify him from prison.
Okay.
I'm sure do that, don't think they don't know how to turn the fucking security cameras off. They've done it before.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Didn't commit suicide.
So what I was saying is listen guys, I was in Safeway. I was outside Safeway, and I had one of the cards with me for one of the candidates. I'm not going to say his name. He's running for Senate. And it had on there America First. And I was showing the guy, and he's a little short guy, about 5'4", and his son was next to him. His son had to be like around 11 to 12 years old, right? So He said, "Oh, America first. Oh, you are a Nazi. That's what Hitler believed in." And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? So I am African American. I'm American. I am a Nazi. But this guy who you're saying it's a Nazi is also my skin complexion, and he's running for United States Senate, and he's a military guy. So he's a Nazi? Yes. All you guys are evil, and you're Nazis, and you're trying to destroy our country. And I looked at him, and the kid says, "Come on, Dad. Dad, let's go, Dad." And he was like, "No, no, I want to give this tall guy, 6'5" guy, he's 5'3", some more talk." And I'm looking at this dude, and I was like, "Listen, dude, you really need to listen to your son and go. Get away from me. I am not a Nazi. I do not support Hitler. I never supported Hitler. I am not a Nazi. Just because I believe and the candidate believe America's first is something wrong with putting America first. Wake up, America. Welcome to America."
Okay, so so what are we going to do about it? Here's the thing. To all the Nikki Haley Republicans, maybe a third of the Haley voters, y'all need to support Donald Trump for president. He is the nominee. He is what they call the presumptive nominee. And there's a process in the United States where we have an election. And every time you cast a vote for Nikki Haley or one of the other candidates that are still on all those ballots, it's a little hit on Donald Trump. And so a little bit goes a long way. We need to show unified front with President Trump. All Republicans, all stripes of Republicans, either the establishmentarians always lecture conservatives about supporting the nominee, right? And then when it comes along, they don't. So this is not the Republican games anymore. This is the Republic, and even Western civilization is at stake. All the great advances of history. Newsmax endlessly plays a clip of Ronald Reagan talking about heroes and about the prosperity of the United States. And he says in that the reason that America has prospered more is that America, unlike all other countries, has given access to freedom and opportunity to more people than any other system of government. And this has led us to this great prosperity. Now, this is the problem to the left, because they don't want that prosperity. What they're interested in is political power, restricting people's choices. Even the control mechanisms are all fake. Your language you have to use. They don't believe in that. The Chinese who promote this thing through TikTok do not believe in that. They don't allow TikTok, this kind of content on TikTok in China. But they certainly promote it in the United States.
And with that, we got to take a quick station break. We'll be right back with Ron Wilcox, Chris Cloud, and Daryl McKell Brooks. We'll be right back. We got to pay.
Flip Ammo is your trusted source of high-quality ammunition. We're passionate about shooting and offer a wide range of products from bulk ammo to hard-to-find rounds, all at competitive prices. You can choose from local pickup or fast daily shipping. We are the fastest shippers in the industry. We strategically developed our space next to the UPS shipping center and can ship most orders same day till 7 p.m. Our dedicated customer service team is always available for any questions or product recommendations. Experience the passion, expertise, and exceptional service that sets us apart. Flip Ammo, your trusted source for high-quality ammunition.
Alright guys, so we got 556 custom built, AO Tech, Sounds of Code Spec War suppressor, and Cerakoted in graphite black and black cherry.
I need to get a bobblehead Trump for my car.
Right. I love those commercials. I love the commercials. Thanks, Lana. You're doing great. So,
Yeah, I'm just on the trumpstore.com.
mhm,
Actually, it's the trumpstorepa.com, and
yeah.
it looks like they've got some pretty great stuff.
Order some stuff. So what guys, I was talking to a lot of people the past 3 weeks, and there's so many people who are dissatisfied with the whole political process that people have been telling me they're not going to vote. They're young and old, black and white. They're not
Well,
going to
okay,
vote.
okay. Let
They're
me get you right
dissatisfied.
there. Let me get you right there. Let me stop you right there.
All right.
The problem is that they have not been engaged in the political process, and they have not exercised their prerogatives as United States citizens. And that is the very reason that we have a problem. If they tell you, I don't like the political system, it's like, well, what have you done in the political system? And they're going to tell you nothing. Chris isn't. His wife goes to Capitol Hill, marches in there, and gives them what for, right?
Yeah.
I don't look at Debbie as a shy person when it comes to public policy, especially when it comes to children. So, people, we have to live our lives like Debbie Cloud lives her life. She is an example to the nations of everyone how you should approach politics. Full-throated, 100% committed. They're going to have another bonfire in a couple days. And my guess is they spend 28 days a month preparing for the bonfire, which I think leaves them 1 day on months with 31 days. They spend 28 days getting ready for the next bonfire and the next potluck and arranging the speakers and arranging the house so that they can open their house to people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that is exactly how all of us should be, that we're all in. Debbie is all in. Okay?
You're right.
It is extremely humbling to be able to point to somebody and say this is a living example, because all these conversations, so many of these forums and things, they talk about hypothetics and ought tos and coulda, woulda, shouldas, but to be able to point and say, do it like that.
All in. I had a conversation with a political figure some time ago, and he had some friends that were very active in the pro-life movement, and they owned a home. And he said, if I owned a home like that, what I could do for the movement. And that's exactly what Debbie Cloud and Chris Cloud have done with their home, is that they moved to for better digs, and now they have a place that they're opening to the public. And not to the public, it's invitation only, but still, to have people roaming around your house has got to be an inconvenience. Is that right, Chris?
Oh yeah.
You tapped on it. I think you touched on it, and that is, we do have vetting mechanisms for people, and we do welcome all, but we do kind of give a little bit of discretion. And there have been a couple that have been uninvited, but
Well, if you
all in.
didn't uninvite some people, you'd have no standards at all.
Right,
right?
exactly.
So that's just part of the game. Is that not everyone who hangs around the movement is
Yeah.
part of the movement,
Yeah.
or understands what the movement is, or has your best interests in mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
We've
you
been
know, I
very
know
we've
people.
been very fortunate with that in that regard. We really have.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about malefactors than rhinos. Okay, as far as attending events. And, you know, quite frankly, we never had a problem at Northern Virginia Tea Party. And pretty much I never worried about our meetings as far as someone coming in because, well, how do I say it? A lot of Chris's people are a lot like our people. And they would take care of business if anything happened.
There's no metal detector at the door.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
I'm not saying anything, but they
You got
know
a
how to
lucky
protect
dog.
themselves.
We got a lucky
And
dog.
they give us herd immunity, right?
Yeah.
So those of us who aren't able to protect ourselves are protected by those who know how to protect themselves,
That's right.
legally and lawfully, and so on and so forth.
So, one of the things that, I wanted to talk about is, I've been asking Virginia people about the border. And it seemed like the older generation who are somewhat ex-military, they believe in border control and control. The
We
younger,
can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
You're better.
All right. So I've been asking people in Virginia about the border. And, a lot of the older generation, people 60 and older, believe that they should be protecting the border and making sure and finding out who's in this country. Then when you get to people in their 40s and 30s, they ask them about the border, and they're like, these are Democrats now. Allow them to come in. We don't need people protecting the border. We don't need government no border patrol. Let everybody come in this country. And I was just surprised that people were anti-government when it came to the border patrol. They just want it's okay for people to walk right into the country.
Well, I tell you, the most important not military, the most important law enforcement is the one that controls the border.
Yeah.
And
So I want to relate an experience.
To those people, there's a very simple response. Fuck you.
Well, no, it's leave your own.
No is a full sentence. Oh, let's have open borders. Let's just let everybody in. Let's welcome everybody. No.
Okay, so we can't put that gesture on it. Daryl's going to have to blur that out. So what my experience last time I went to the clouds, I stopped by a Walmart on the way in Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm beginning to experience something when I go to these places like Walmart, is that we don't just have a illegal immigration problem, we have a parole problem. So everyone that gets captured by the Border Patrol gets issued a asylum claim thing, and they get paroled into the United States, which means they also get a work permit. So you will notice if you go to some of these places that this person from Mexico or another Spanish-speaking language has zero command of the English language. Now that's okay for me because I studied Spanish in school. I talk to shopkeepers in Spanish all the time because a lot of them speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, for example, there's a butcher shop, a Latino butcher shop. They don't speak Spanish well. So you're having people that are going to work at Walmart that are illiterate in English and illiterate in Spanish, and they don't speak another language. This is a problem.
You're right. Listen, I'm at I'm in front of the Giants. I'm at the Safeway. I'm asking questions. Are you registered to vote? Are you registered to vote? and they're looking at me like, uh, "What are you talking? No, no English, no English." But you're coming out with bag of groceries, carts of groceries.
That's on that
But
little gift card they
yeah,
give them so they
yeah,
can
yeah,
buy
yeah.
groceries.
But
At
they
your
can't
expense,
speak.
Daryl. You're
Yes,
paying
they
for
can't.
that.
Yes, we're paying for it. They can't speak they can't speak our language, and they don't try to understand. Asking, "Are you registered for?" And it's
Well,
terrible.
I get really
Welcome to America.
apoplectic when they don't speak their own language.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Hmm.
You really setting. See, the problem is if you come to America, you're set up to be victimized if you don't speak English well, or at least at a rudimentary level. You're set up to be victimized by other elements. And
Hmm.
so you've got a whole class of people that are victimizable. That is a magnet for the scumbags. What's the cat's name?
Kitty Gaines.
Which one?
Kitty Gaines.
Kitty Gaines.
Kitty Gaines. Okay.
Kitty Gaines was the woman that won this property. She was a slave, and she actually won the property in a legal battle. So when we got a cat, you're Kitty Gaines.
Oh wow, awesome.
Well, there you go.
Debbie will fill you in on Kitty Gaines on Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
be
sure
here.
I'll remember that to ask. How'd the cat get its name?
How'd the cat get its name?
Yeah, don't you know, Debbie's running a show. She's got, you've got Chris over here on
We
one
should get
side.
Debbie on this show, Daryl.
We ought to. We
We
ought
gotta
to. We
get
do
Debbie
want to
on.
hear
Debbie, we got next week we'll have her on. Next week.
Okay.
But
So
but my thinking.
while Chris is juggling chainsaws, Debbie is juggling flaming batons at the same time. So
Mhm.
it's quite a show, and so it's something if you are vetted properly that you can
Off the
attend.
screen, she's come in the room 3 times to say,
Okay, don't say that, huh?
What?
So one of the things, as I said, I was at Safeway and Giants and a few other stores, is talking to people. I was in Portsmouth, and I was in Portsmouth, the Chesapeake area, and I was so surprised that people who have lost their right to vote, so many inner city and suburban black and white Americans, said that they have lost their right to vote and they don't care to vote anymore because they've lost their right. And I asked them, have you thought about getting you've made a mistake. We all have made a mistake. We're all not perfect. But have you thought about getting getting your rights to vote again? And a lot of them are just they don't. And so they're so in this mode of thinking this, and my vote
Okay,
is
so
not going to count. But
I ran.
they don't. They're so sad. They're upset. Saddened that they can't get their rights again to vote.
Okay, so what I did is I had the same situation with 3 gentlemen at a bar that I went to. And as I was leaving, I decided to engage these 3 African American gentlemen. And one of the gentlemen said, I don't care to vote. I had my civil rights taken away and 20 years ago, and the president makes no difference to me. And I'm like, wait a minute. How much was milk last week? How much is milk this week? And you're saying the president has no impact on your life. So I think what you do when you've got these people that say, this doesn't impact me in any way, it's like, yes, it does. There's probably 30 people that you have the opportunity to vote for in where you live. There's probably 30, maybe even 35 people. There's a lot of people. You've got boards of supervisors, you've got school boards, you've got sheriffs, you've got county commissioners, you've got tax assessors, you've got state senate, state delegates, you've got your congressman, and you got your president. But there's so many more that you can have a dramatic impact in your local community, you just may not care that your food is costing 10% more or 30% more now that since Biden has been in office.
And his administration.
And yes, and who's running the administration? Because Biden is not running the administration.
But the point being, it's not just the vegetant; it's everybody below the vegetant.
Yeah.
So I did a post today based on a news story about when the press secretary was asked on radio, does Joe Biden have dementia?
Click.
She
hung
up. She lost it and then hung. It was better than click. She lost it and then hung up.
The Democrats clearly know there are people I've met all over the state of Virginia clearly understand that something is wrong with President Biden.
So I decided I said, that's a great slogan. I think that's a great bumper sticker. Does Joe Biden have dementia? Can you imagine? It's a fantastic. What do you think, Chris?
I've already got it on the back of my car. I've got a what amounts to a floor mat, and it's got all the different sayings, and one of them is Joe Biden is a vegetable.
Okay. Well, but so I did post this on Facebook, and you know what happened?
Oh, it got deleted.
It said, we're preparing to post your post. We'll let you know when it happens. Now, one thing I've learned about error messages on Facebook, they're not a mistake. Okay, they're not. You didn't make an error. It's not an error message. It's a cover up. Okay, so I waited a while and I looked, and all I could see was a blank post that I had allegedly posted an hour ago. They literally took my post and sent it to a live human being. This is the granularity of it. They sent it to a live human being to review my post for further action. And I think they deleted. They may have shadow banned me. I don't know what they did. But then an hour later, I said, my post asking about Joe, JOWEBIDAN, having dementia, didn't work. And then I posted it again. I said, does Joe Biden have dementia? The question of the day, does Joe Biden have dementia? And I think that I was shadow banned. So the second time I posted it, they didn't care that I posted it, because if I am shadow banned,
no one's watching it anyway.
No one's going to see the post anyway. They're going to downrate it or whatever, rank it or do whatever they do. And I'm looking right now.
Welcome to America.
There is no other likes on my post.
So guys, I just want to say this. Chris and Ron, when I talk to the Democrats in these areas, they know something is wrong with Joe Biden.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, it's irrefutable. It's irrefutable. Yeah. But what they also know is that it's irrelevant. Yeah. The office of the vegetant, they are educating us that none of this is by accident, like Ron was saying. None of this is by accident. What they're gonna this is my prognosis. They're gonna come out and say, look, guys, this is really bullshit. This is nonsense. 330 million people trying to vote for one position isn't working anymore. Besides, we're going to come clean. Mea culpa, we're going to come clean. You haven't had a vegetant for 4 years. Joe Biden's not even alive anymore. You never knew it. It didn't make any difference. Consequently, we're going to get rid of this voting for the president, the executive office. We're going to have the judicial and the legislature. That's fine. Go ahead and vote for your little mayors. Go ahead and vote for your little senators. Go ahead and vote for your local elections and all that stuff. But the idea of 330 million people voting for it's just not feasible. Come on. and we don't need it anyway. We're going to have like an ambassadorship, or it's going to be an office of a title, and that's going to be the person that sits in that.
Well, I think that they'll keep up the ruse, because
the facade of that actually being influenced, because they know as well as everybody else that no, he is not compos mentis, and no, he doesn't know where he is, if he's still alive. He hasn't known for months.
I don't know why they would.
They've been running it since before he put his hand on whatever he put his hand on to swear into office. He has not made one policy decision. He's had no impact, no influence whatsoever. It's been his administration entirely, no different than Karine Jean-Pierre saying, "Let me be perfectly clear." When you hear those words, you know what's going to follow is absolute obfuscated bullshit. Let me be perfectly clear. What's coming next is the exact opposite of being perfectly clear. Let
me be perfectly clear.
And the three of us are having this big, long conversation about it. It doesn't exist, man. And we got every length in the world to keep somebody from that office.
We got to take a station break. We'll be right back. This is the On Fire Show with Chris Cloud and Ron Wilcox, and I'm Daryl McKell Brooks. We'll be right back.
Alright guys, so we got 556 custom built, EOTech, Sounds of Cold Spec Wars suppressor, and Cerakoted in graphite black and black cherry.
Flip Ammo is your trusted source of high-quality ammunition. We're passionate about shooting and offer a wide range of products from bulk ammo to hard-to-find rounds, all at competitive prices. You can choose from local pickup or fast daily shipping. We are the fastest shippers in the industry. We strategically developed our space next to the UPS shipping center and can ship most orders same day till 7 p.m. Our dedicated customer service team is always available for any questions or product recommendations. Experience the passion, expertise, and exceptional service that sets us apart. Flip Ammo, your trusted source for high-quality ammunition.
All right, we're back. Welcome to the On Fire Show. We're back. Where's Ron? They go, oh, Ron. Ron Wilcox, the great one. And we have Chris Cloud. So,
45 over here. I got to get an upgrade, 45, 47, just like Donald Trump has.
What's the one I saw recently, or Debbie pointed it out to me? It said, it was one of those oval stickers, and it said 45 greater than 46. With the greater than symbol,
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, Joe Biden doesn't even know what day it is after his wife tells him what day it is.
Yeah. So listen. So I've been talking to, like I said, I've been going around the Virginia talking to some people, and the Democrats are saying there are people saying we must stop Donald Trump from getting in office. no matter what it takes. They have to stop him. And it's almost to the point is that they're thinking about doing something crazy.
Let's
There's one
not
that
go
said,
there.
I'll stop him myself. It's like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah, so
You'll
they
stop
talk
him?
about insurrection.
Yeah,
The insurrectionists are these people that
yeah,
put up the
That
sign.
harkens back to what I was saying earlier, Ron, about projection. They've been projecting about relatively, banal stuff. Threat to our democracy, insurrection, racist, xenophobe, all this other bullshit. But when they start talking about these things, because what they've talked about in the past is
they would love it better if someone they would love nothing better than someone like the crazy guy that was inspired by Bernie Sanders to shoot up the baseball team in Alexandria, I think.
And also he was watching Rachel Maddox.
Yep.
And thank the Lord we have these great public servants in these police officers that save the day.
Mm-hmm.
That was a near miss. I mean,
Yeah.
Steve Scalise would like a word with you.
Yes. No, I mean, yeah, poor Steve Scalise.
Yeah.
I don't agree with his politics, but I don't think he should have to walk around in crutches the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's sad. It's more like it's like they have a visceral hate for Republicans and President Trump, and it's sad. And it's I look at him like, how far will you go to get your point across? How far will you grow? How far would they go to stop President Trump?
So Daryl, I have a saying: don't waste your time on communists. Just don't waste your time. However, if you have someone who you think can be reached, what you do is you ask them to compass on their highest values. Okay? And this is how you get through to just about anybody, from mild, favorable to unfavorable, not the crazy crowd. There's no use because they're not coming around. But, it is, that's what I did in the first Trump campaign, was I go to my friends who were ready to jump off a cliff, and I said, look, it's going to be okay. Donald Trump is making progress, and it's going to be okay. What you want is a constitutional democracy or constitutional republic, and Donald Trump will give that. Just compass on the highest values. It's like, okay, I understand you don't like Donald Trump, but how do you feel about 40% inflation since Biden got elected? Okay, everybody, and people were paying off, charging the groceries at the store and then paying off at the end of the month. People are not paying off their credit cards right now. They're just trying to maintain their lifestyle and running up credit card bills. And I would suggest to people to skip some stuff. It really not do that. Try to earn more money. Don't run up the bills because it's going to take a long time when things turn around, it's going to take a while for you to pay those things off, and you don't want to do that to yourself. So,
well, listen, we got to take one more station break. We'll be right back.
Gun show at Dulles Expo in Chantilly, Virginia this weekend. 1,300 tables, over 2 miles of guns, knives, and accessories. Everything you need for the shooting, sports, and self-defense. Meet Crispy Avila at the EC Defense booth. Concealed handgun classes. The Nation's Gun Show at Dulles Expo. Friday 3 to 8, Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 5. Advanced tickets, coupons, and more info at thenationsgunshow.com. That's thenationsgunshow.com.
Flip Ammo is your trusted source of high-quality ammunition. We're passionate about shooting and offer a wide range of products from bulk ammo to hard-to-find rounds, all at competitive prices. You can choose from local pickup or fast daily shipping. We are the fastest shippers in the industry. We strategically developed our space next to the UPS shipping center and can ship most orders same day till 7 p.m. Our dedicated customer service team is always available for any questions or product recommendations. Experience the passion, expertise, and exceptional service that sets us apart. Flip Ammo, your trusted source for high-quality ammunition.
Alright guys, so we got 5.56 custom built, Tech, Sounds of Cold Spec War suppressor, and Cerakoted in graphite black and black cherry.
All right. We're back. This is Daryl
I have a
McCall Brooks,
challenge for you guys.
Chris Crowd.
I got a challenge for you guys. I listen to a lot of talk radio around here, and there have been times today included and yesterday where I just have to turn it off. It's just too much. And this preceding hour, we've just been, me particularly, fetching and bitching and complaining. And there's a lot out there, and it's got a lot of valid merit, and it's all real and all that other bullshit, just to keep people from jumping off the bridge. Give me something. You guys, I got something here, and I'll go first to give you all some time to think about something. I want a positive. I want a positive. I want a good story, good news story. And I got one for you. There's something in Albany, Georgia, which is a very poor, very black, very high unemployment, high crime rate part of the city. It's a guy his name is King Randall. And King Randall is a 24-year-old native of Albany, Georgia, seeing a need to help enhance and advance the lives of the young men in his community. He set out to take an action to combat the high poverty and crime rates in the southwest Georgia city. He started something called the X for Boys. And the X for Boys. I want to get this guy on the show. I want to really try to get him on the show and interview him. It's the Life Preparatory School for Boys, and it's a 501c3, and it's a charitable organization. Teach boys the true meaning of manhood and to be protectors and providers for their communities. He's on Twitter. If you look for the X for Boys on Twitter, on X or whatever you want to call it, look at some of the videos, because this guy, he takes this group of kids and he teaches them how to change brakes, how to change the oil in a car, how to change a light socket or a light switch in a wall, how to change a faucet, how to do basic plumbing. And these kids, these 8 or 10 or 12 kids, are gravitated to him like a sponge. And it's a very regimented program where he says something and they say, "Yes, sir," in unison. Yeah. And they all dress very well. They're clean and respectful and respectable. And it may be bullshit. He may be a supremacist. He could be a Black Panther. I don't know. But my point is, it's better than the fucking alternative. And he's giving these kids a structure and some guidance and some education, and they're starving for it. You watch this and you see this and you see them interact, and they're so desperate for it. So I want you all, everybody out there, to go look that up. The X for boys. King Randall. See what you think of that, and I want to hear back from other suggestions or other like groups. And go. Who's next?
Yeah. Listen, I truly believe that, and what's going on in Georgia. I like what I read the article, and I think it was the article you sent to me, and it's exciting to see things like that happen. My hero, Dr. King, quoted. He said that, and I believe this is too. He said that we're all caught up in this great, inescapable network of reality, tied in a single garment of destiny. And whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And that I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be unless I am what I ought to be. Then he quotes the poet John Donne and says that no man is an island. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. And then he goes on to say that any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind. Therefore, never send to know whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. And I truly believe that. And if American people really believe that, we'd be a much better country. And I am trying to talk to people, and even going out petitioning and doing the surveys, talking to people, and I see, especially, I hate to say it, in these democratic areas where people just don't care or don't believe that, and it's sad. And these are the same people that say Martin Luther King was their hero, and they're pushing. They don't understand what really Martin Luther King talked about: the empathy, the love for people, no matter what if they're Democrats, if they're Republicans or independents, or they serve the military or not. This is sad when you have people that, so what, I serve because a person served the military, they're evil, or the person, he's a Republican, he's evil, and it's sad. But people have to realize and wake up and come to God, and we got to have that come to Jesus moment with a lot of people in America to wake up, because I fear it's going to be a disastrous time soon if it doesn't go the way certain individuals want to go. People need to have the come to Jesus moment. Am I right, Ron? Go ahead.
I do think so. Come to Jesus is a good example, and I'll go into that in a moment. I just went to my favorite news source, Breitbart.com, and I looked for a headline. And the headline is poll: majority of Hispanics disagree with Biden, they calling Laken Riley's alleged killer illegal is appropriate. Okay, so here's the great news here. The left being so crazy is that they're losing the Democrat base. I think 20%. Do you follow this? What percent African Americans now, men?
Yes,
now,
but are they're losing the Democrats are losing these minorities, but I believe that to the same degree the Republicans are losing people like me, and I'm not going over to the Democrats any more than they're coming over to the Republicans.
All right, wait. This is positive story time. This is positive story time. Your rules, Chris. Positive story.
Positive story time.
So, yeah, instead of being lost, as I've said, kind of, if you're kind of lost, maybe you never were found. Maybe you never were doing anything. A Christian, not of course Chris, because Chris does everything. Chris is amazing. Mrs. Cloud is even more amazing than Mr. Cloud, because Mr. Cloud is usually off doing something while his wife is on Capitol Hill. He's probably still driving a truck.
Chopping wood. Keeping the burners going.
The Bible says we are to pray for all men in authority, and we're to be subject to these authorities. And what people don't realize is they have authority as the governors of the society in a republic. We are the governors. I had a Marxist take exception to that. But we are the governors. We are the people. All legitimate authority in any government is derived from the consent of the governed.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. And through the electoral process, we have authority. And as a Christian, since you have authority, if you were in China and what you did didn't matter because your vote didn't really matter, and you couldn't really do anything anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. But you're a United States citizen. If you're a United States citizen, and or you live in the United States and are not a citizen, you have tremendous authorities to act for good, for the Christian good.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an obligation to exercise your authority according to scriptural law.
Yeah.
You do not have an obligation. You have an obligation not to drop out. Sorry,
Yeah.
Chris. We're not Christians cannot just put their head in the sand and say, I'm going to be a Christian and they'll take me away to the gulags and that's it. We have authorities as Christians. And part of that authority is part of our citizenship. And we know as an example, the Apostle Paul exercised his citizenship to the maximum level that he appealed all the way up the chain.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't give up when we tried voting once, or we tried steering the Republican Party once. We cannot give up. We are here until we're taken away in the clouds, so to speak, or taken to the clouds, one of the two. I think you get to stop by Chris Cloud's palatial estate before you go to heaven because it's such a wonderful experience.
That's right.
It really has a wonderful place.
We'll be there, and we'll be there Saturday, and I'll see you there, Ron and Chris, and I have two guests with me from Colorado and Hawaii.
So I really would say, though, that this obligation runs deep.
Yes, it does.
You can't be a Christian and say I don't participate in politics.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you can't be a Christian.
Yeah.
Because you have a obligation to exercise your authority to the fullest extent that the law allows you to, which includes questioning a stolen election.
Yes, questioning that stolen election. And with that is, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'd like to thank Ron for coming on. Thank Ron for coming on, and Chris, and also Rebecca will be back next week. Ron, thank you for coming on in place of Rebecca.
My pleasure.
All right. And this is the On Fire Show. We'll be back next week. We were on fire today, and I thank you all for watching, and please support. Listen, share share the show on YouTube and all the different social media sites, Facebook. Listen, we got to get the message out. You know, Martin Luther King said it best.
I need one positive story from everybody.
Yeah. Martin Luther King said it best. No lie can live forever. All right, y'all. Thank you all for watching. This was the On Fire Show. See you next week.